Hello and welcome back to Binge Retro. This is my third video where I go through every Evercade cartridge because I want to revisit them. I want to test every game and talk about what I think are the best games and overall what I think about the cartridge. And this is the Data East Collection 1. So I have to admit, this was when I completed my Evercade collection, this was the last cartridge that I bought, because I was not excited about this cartridge at all. There was nothing here that really stood out to me as being something that I needed to have. And I already had the later released Data East arcade collection, where some of these games actually pop up in the original arcade form. But I sat down and I played through, didn't finish all of them, but I played and tested all of these games. And it's an interesting mix. It's kind of a strange mix, and it's 10 games from different consoles. I think it's Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Mega Drive. And yeah, let's take a look what I think about this. The first game that I kind of like is Side Pocket. And this series of games, the Side Pocket games, has kind of an interesting history. Well, kind of a lewd history, to be honest. It's originally an arcade game from 1986. I think this is the Super Nintendo port. Correct me if I'm wrong. But later versions of these games in the arcade in Japan actually became like stripping games, where there were images of women and they would lose their clothes the better you did at this game. So yeah, it's a strange gaming franchise, the Side Pocket franchise, but this is a pretty fun game. What is interesting about it is it's not just pool, but it's kind of like a puzzle game. There's trick shots in there, and you have to hit certain goals, otherwise you lose a life, and hit the balls in order, things like that. So it's kind of a puzzly game, not exactly a typical pool game. So yeah, my third one here is Side Pocket. So the second game that I like from this collection is a classic. It's well, I grew up with the excellent ZX Spectrum version of this game, but it's Midnight Resistance. And I think this is the Mega Drive version of this game, which is highly regarded. The only really big flaw with this version of the game compared to the arcade game is that the arcade game is a two-player game. Well, you can play two-player, but the Mega Drive game is single-player only. And this is just a very cool run-and-gun shooter with a lot of fun power-ups. I think that's the main thing with Midnight Resistance. You pick up these keys, and between stages you buy these kind of crazy weapons. So it's a lot of fun, pretty good graphics, and it's just a very cool kind of late 80s, early 90s run and gun game. Totally recommend Midnight Resistance. And the game that I consider the best game on this cartridge is Magical Drop 2. This is a fun series. It's not perfect, it's not one of the absolutely best of these kind of games from that era, but this is like a late 90s arcade game or arcade series. But it is quite a fun game, because what I really love about games like this is that when things just start blowing up and you get all these combos and it all happens all at once, and it's just a dopamine hit. And what I like about this game is that there are plenty of options to play it. I'm playing the endless mode here, but there's a single player mode where you play against an AI controlled character, and it's just a lot of fun. It's one of those games. It's a nice game. However, it's not the best in the Magical Drop series. That would be Magical Drop 3, but a pretty solid and fun game with a lot of character. The characters talk and there's different different types of abilities that the characters have. Just a solid effort with a lot of things put in it. So, overall, what do I think of this? Is this worth buying? I would say no. There's nothing here to be super excited about. There are decent games here, and you maybe heard when I was talking about them, I was like, yeah, this is a fine game, but there's nothing really to excite, to be honest. And there are some really bad ones here as well. Like there's a horrible NES version of Bad Dudes, which is not good, and something feels off with the Burger Time version as well. And the thing is, you can get those games in the arcade Data East cartridge, so which came out, I don't know, a couple of years later than this. And yeah, I don't like Joe and Mac either. It's not I have no fun with that. It just feels like a clunky kind of platformer. And Two Crude Dudes, it was a fun arcade game, okay Mega Drive conversion. But the games that I listed, if you like one of those, you should get this. Otherwise, this is absolutely not an essential Evercade purchase. And yeah, that's it. Please comment if you have different opinions, or even if you have the same opinions as me. And hope to see you again in other Evercade videos that I do.